Today's video is titled In a World Where Yuta Became a Warlord of the Sea. Let's dive into the main content.
The pirate's daughter chose the path of becoming a dog of the government.
If we're talking about the latest chapter, it's interesting to imagine what kind of reaction they'd have if they heard about the sinking now.
They weren't at Egghead and heard about it through a den mushy. I can totally imagine them petting animals while looking surprised.
The crew is in the middle of a battle, so it's questionable if they even heard about it. Whether they're at Egghead or somewhere else, they might have missed it entirely.
If they're listening to the broadcast via den mushy, I can definitely picture them reacting with surprise, maybe even laughing, while petting the Neasels on their lap.
If we imagine them on Egghead, busy preparing a meal and unable to stop, while the rest of the crew is gathered around watching the broadcast and they only have a vague sense that something is happening, it would be amusing. It paints a picture of a bustling kitchen scene with a cook focused on their task, completely oblivious to the significant news the crew is reacting to.
They might be thinking it's all calm and peaceful, only to later realize a major event has occurred. When they're told afterward, they might react like, "What?" But considering they collect wanted posters, it seems like they would have been doing the same thing for incidents involving the crew.
If there's talk about animals, I've always been curious about their interaction with Luffy. I've thought it would be interesting to see that exchange at some point.
The fact that the band members are part of the crew is a concept similar to the Sirens in the sea surface. It's probably just a matter of whether there was any contact during the reunion.
It's true that there have been times when a newspaper was brought or someone was called, only to find out that an event had occurred. While it may contradict the sea surface concept slightly, I think there have been instances where such exchanges have led to rescue or assistance.
If we go by the standards of the Straw Hat, then the encounter might have happened when they met again and ended up in a brawl. They have emotions, can play musical instruments, so I think they could get along well. If they were together during the raid on Wano, there might have been some interaction during the banquet.
Although there's no depiction of them speaking human language, I can picture them communicating through gestures and body language. Also, within Wano, Momonosuans would likely be able to understand what they're saying.
It would be interesting if, despite trying to stay hidden and consider their own position, they end up being drawn into the spotlight and forced onto the stage.
Although they haven't been there for a long time, the cultural differences make them unsure if their songs will be accepted. Additionally, there's the concern of being lumped together with others, but eventually being accepted and feeling shy about it is imaginable.
Seeing Nico and Joy Boy's names, Luffy might react by continuing to punch the Holy Warrior while maintaining a poker face, but his mind would likely be in turmoil.
The five elders seem quite flustered, and with the situation turning into a bit of a melee, they might leave it to Muchka to handle while they try to track down the source of the broadcast. In that scenario, they might end up clashing with Saint Mars, and while it's not conducive to fleeing, they have no choice.
If Yuta can keep up his stamina, Totland Muchka seems like a suitable candidate for the role of tanking the wall, buying time. The five elders might not die, but
if they continue to flee, there might be a scene where they use medicine or mushrooms to extend their endurance, but suffer side effects and eventually collapse, allowing them to barely escape. It depends on how things play out with Egghead.
It seems uncertain if they'll settle things now, so stalling for time might be the only option for now.
The situation seems critical now, but at the same time, there's a sense of composure. If there's a development where things get really chaotic ahead, it might fit well. It could also work if they manage to escape with some composure but then tire out and need care.
I wonder how it will actually conclude.
The video concludes here. Please remember to subscribe and leave a like. See you in the next video.